One prominent Muslim said, "Please, God, don't let the Boston Marathon bombers be Muslim." We're going to talk to that man to get his reaction now. Contact reportedly was enough to deny Tamerlan Tsarnaev American citizenship. For one Muslim American, his first thought after the bombings was, quote, "Please, God, don't let the bomber be Muslim." And now we know that they are.
Remember, the FBI says there is no clear motive for the bombings, and there's no connection as far as we know, to any jihadist group, although Tamerlan Tsarnaev's YouTube channel hints at Islamic extremism, posting some videos and the like, and family members have commented on his religious changes over the last few years. With us now from Chicago is Arsalan Iftikhar. He is the senior editor at the Islamic monthly magazine. He's the former of the MuslimGuide.com. Arsalan, when you found out the brothers were Muslim, what was your first reaction?
Well, I think that, obviously the vast majority of American Muslims after 9/11, whenever there is an act of terrorism or mass murder, whether it's the Newtown, Connecticut school shooting, whether it's the Aurora, Colorado Dark Knight Batman killing, the first thing that comes to mind is, please God, don't let it be a Muslim, because we know that, whenever there is an act of mass murder committed by a brown dude with a foreign-sounding name, it's something that it casts a pall upon the entire American Muslim community. And, there are Muslim victims of the bombing in Boston. There are Muslim marathon runners. We agree with the country. This was an attack on all Bostonians, on all Americans, regardless of their race, religion, or ethnicity.
And how does it make you feel when you hear that there may be ties to Islamic extremism, at least with the older brother?
Well, I always tell people that, Islamic extremists, are about as Muslim as the Westboro Baptist Church is Christian. Just because somebody, proclaims to, watch 2 or 3 YouTube videos, it doesn't make them a religious expert or a vanguard for, an entire faith of over 1 billion people. I mean, to the vast majority of American Muslims, these guys were crazy criminal losers, and they do not represent Islam or Muslims at all. Just like Timothy McVeigh after the Oklahoma City bombing didn't represent Christianity, even though his co-conspirator Terry Nichols was a self-professed member of the Christian identity movement. And so, murder knows no religion, and this is a time where Americans of all faiths, all religions, and all ethnic backgrounds need to come together and help rally for the people of Boston.
How do you think their religion affects people's perception of this attack?
That's a very good question, John. I think that perceptions, were created in the very early parts of this investigation, even before the Tsarnaev brothers were named as the suspects. As we all know, there were several media outlets that erroneously reported that there was an arrest of a dark-skinned male. And that helped to shape narratives also within the general American discourse that, it was one of those other guys. When we look at the, Aurora, Colorado Dark Knight Batman massacre, where 12 people were killed, 58 people were injured, if it was a brown Arab dude who thought of himself as the Joker, we probably would have referred to it as an act of terrorism. Terrorism in this country after 9/11 has sadly been co-opted to really only apply when brown dudes do something, but not necessarily when white guys might commit that same act of mass murder.
So are you concerned then about how this particular situation will have Americans feel about Muslims?
Well, one of the silver linings, in the last 10 or 12 years is the increase in the number of interfaith outreach that has happened all across the country at the local and national level between Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, people of all faiths to come together, to rally around each other as Americans. I know mosques in Boston have opened their doors. They've issued condemnation statements. Muslim leaders like myself have called on, local Muslims in Boston to donate, in their blood and blood drives, for the victims of the attacks. Again, there were Muslim victims of the bombings. There was a Saudi female doctor that was injured. There were Muslim female runners that were taking part in the Boston Marathon who've written about their experiences and how they were heartbroken, for the people of Boston. I grew up as a Boston Celtics fan. You know, this was an attack on all Americans. This was not something that was you know, discriminate at all. It affected people of all colors and all backgrounds.
All right, Arsalan
Very well
Iftikhar,
said.
thank you so much for joining us this morning and giving us your insight
Thank
into
you.
what's gone on here. Appreciate it.